How's it going, everyone? I'm Evan Price, local physical therapist in Vancouver, Washington, and triathlete on the Dialed Triathlon team. This is the first Dialed Endurance Lab swim strength series. And first, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the equipment you need, and also just the purpose of these and how you kind of stack these throughout your week. So for the swim series, most of us who do triathlon or swimmers are used to getting in a couple workouts a week. This workout is a little bit more muscularly demanding than your typical swim, so I would say doing this twice a week off the bat is going to be a good idea, considering that most of us probably have not been in the water the last 3 weeks. So, first and foremost, you need your cap and you need your goggles, because you got to get used to the feeling of that cap on your head still. We do not want to get in the water and get headaches from that 3 months from now. So, outside of that, the equipment is pretty simple. Most of you have some weights at home, but if you don't have weights at home, there's a lot of household objects you can use. Here I just have 2 kettlebells, a 5-pound and a 10-pound kettlebell. Anywhere between that range is absolutely fine for free weights. Household objects that are pretty close around there would be a big can of soup and a gallon of milk, which can actually be pretty close to about 10 pounds, especially if it's whole milk, that's actually almost 12 pounds. Some other optional equipment that you can use is a TheraBall. Now, the TheraBall is very useful to kind of simulate some of these swim positions we can get in, but you do not need the TheraBall. 2 other Thera equipments are your TheraBands. I have one that I just tied off, which is basically a strip form, and then this one is just a loop band. Both are necessary because you're going to need one for your legs, and you can use the same one for the arms, so you can switch back and forth. And the last bit of equipment, along with your yoga mat if you have one at home, is 2 water bottles. I took one for hydration and 2 are actually going to need these for the exercises today. So I took like about a 4th sip out of it. Give yourself a little bit of room there. So don't have a full water bottle, give yourself at least a 4th or a 3rd sip out of each one, okay? So, next, we're going to take a look at basically how we're going to anchor and position the bands for you. So, let's go ahead and grab your swim cap, grab your goggles, and we're going to head over to this side. All right. So over here, you can see I have a pretty nice anchor system. You do not need an anchor system at home. This can simulate, a lot of these TheraBands come with attachments that can go into a door or around a pole. A good friend of ours, Scott Macbeth, showed me he is using a very, very creative setup where he's actually linked it over something in his basement. So it's actually up above him. But I would suggest having one TheraBand position is up pretty high. So if you're in a door frame, this would be at the top of the door frame. And another is about mid. This can be around a table. This can be around a really strong pole in your basement, or this can just be jammed into your door too. Another useful bit of equipment is going to be 2 different types of handles. You can have the handles that TheraBand uses, which they actually send with these if you have any, or you can create your own handles here. These look familiar to anybody who's been in the pool. These are your pool paddles. Tie them to the TheraBand any way you want. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but for my type of paddle, this works pretty well. This is the Speedo paddles. They have a lot of holes along there, so there's a lot of different positions you can mess with for whatever works best for you. So, next, we're going to take a look at, before we get into any sets or exercises, what your form should look like. So there's 2 different ways to do this. There is the easy way, and then there's making it a little bit harder on you. So I'm going to go ahead and take a closer look here. There's 2 ways to kind of position the arm when you're at the catch. The catch being the point that is furthest away from you before you go and pull. One is just with a straight arm. Now, when I have a straight arm and I just pull down, this can be pretty easy. I can do this for a while. But the swim position when we enter the water is obviously a little bit different. Elbows a little bit higher, we're a little bit more open through here, and we're not internally rotating closed down there. So, I want you to open up like you're entering the water and just get used to that pull. I find it useful to try and keep your hand in a position that you would actually be pulling and not let it flex either way. So sit right here, Brad gets used to this position, and then pull. And after you get used to that, start getting used to letting yourself rotate. So actually opening up that core, just like if you were going to take a breath while you're pulling. We don't take a breath by just doing this. You actually, when you pull, open yourself up there. So once you got this position down, you're ready for the workout, okay? Now, the second thing I like to show is there's going to be a little drill that we're doing later called sculling, and we use sculling quite a bit in the pool, but also I like using it as a dry land exercise. So if I'm out in this position, both my hands are about halfway between what would be my top of the catch and the bottom of my pull, okay? Somewhere floating in this range, not all the way out here and not all the way down there. And once I get there, I'm gonna move back and forth. I've heard an old phrase for this that it's like petting dogs. So you're just petting two massively fluffy dogs right out in front of you. Just like you're sculling in a pool, working on that control and working on that feedback through that area. So I like using the paddles for that one, but you can use the handles, or if you have neither of those, you can also just tie loops right here. Okay, so let's get our goggles on, let's get our cap on, and we're gonna go into the first warm-up set. The first warm-up set is just gonna be getting a feel for everything. Whew. It's a lot easier to put these on when it's wet, that's for sure. Does anybody else get goggle headaches? I'm probably gonna have to lift these up after a while. I'm gonna have to do my sculling with them up. All right, so first set, we're gonna do a single arm pull, slow for 1 minute. Now what I mean by a single arm pull is we're gonna have both out here, but there's gonna be one arm doing the work for 30 seconds, and that's gonna be the other arm doing the work for 30 seconds. Then we're gonna go to alternating for 1 minute right after that. And then our last one is we are gonna stay alternating, but 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other leg, okay? I'm gonna use my high anchor for this one. All right, so we're gonna go on the top and go. One arm, 30 seconds. Keep it slow and controlled. This is not meant to be fast yet. We will add that much later. 30 seconds, one arm. Make sure you're keeping that catch. You are not dropping that elbow. That elbow stays nice and high. And 3 seconds, we're switching. 2, 1, and now your other arm. Don't forget to let yourself rotate. Good. Try your best not to speed up. I know it's very, very tempting to speed up here. The goal is to stay slow and controlled. 2, 1, and now we're alternating. Now this takes a little bit of rhythm, but make sure that you're also letting yourself rotate as you pull. So if I'm pulling with my left arm, I'm rotating my chest to the left so that that band's almost touching my chest when I turn. We're going for 1 minute. Good. We're almost halfway. Stay nice and slow. The goal is not to be fast with this yet. This would be a good time too, if you realize that you have chosen too stiff of a TheraBand, is to switch the TheraBand. Because this is supposed to be the warm-up, and this should be the resistance you can feel like you can do the main set today with. We got about 10 seconds left. I'm talking so it doesn't appear that I'm putting out that much effort, but man, my arms hurt. 3, 2, and now we're gonna switch to one leg, guys. If you fell over, that's okay. I was a little bit nervous I was going to. Make sure you are still rotating. We're doing 30 seconds and then you're switching legs. Good. Good. Make sure you're still keeping that catch. I'm losing my catch a bit. 2, 1, switch legs. Still stay rotating. You're gonna find that there's probably a leg you like balancing over a lot more than the other. If you're a cyclist or a runner, as many of you triathletes are, you may know which leg that is already. Make sure you're still rotating. Good. 5 seconds left. And stop. Good. We're gonna rest 30 seconds, folks. Whew. I'm gonna pop my goggles off here for a second. Make sure you got your water close too. But unlike me, you should probably have a third water bottle that's just for drinking. Okay, now to remind you, we're starting with the one arm, then the other arm, and then we're going to both, and then single leg, okay? 3, get the goggles on, 2, 1. One arm. 30 seconds, and then we're gonna go to the other. That rotation should start to feel a little bit more natural now. Deep breaths, just like you're swimming. Three, 2, 1, and to your left arm. Good. You should be getting into a rhythm now, or switching TheraBands, one or the other. Nice thing for you is if you get really tired and need to switch, just pause the video. You can jump straight back in. Make sure you're still rotating. 2, 1, and 2 arms. Once again, making sure that you are rotating. Using the core, do not just rely on your pull. And make sure that hand gets out in that position we talked about earlier. And you are not dropping your elbow down. We're doing this for 1 minute before we're switching to one leg. Good. Good. Stay with it, I missed a stroke there. Nice thing about dry land is that there's no flip turns. I know some of you know me personally, that's not exactly a strength of mine. A little bit more like open water swimming. Good. Less than 10 seconds left, guys. This is where your arms may be getting a little bit tired, but you should be getting ready to get on one leg. Pick which leg you want and go. Don't lose that high elbow. Keep the elbow high. Make sure that you're also, when you drag that hand through, keeping that forearm parallel to the ground, whichever angle you're at. Good. And rotating. 2, 1, switch legs. I'm sure on this microphone you can probably hear that I'm starting to breathe a little bit harder. The warm-up is almost done. We are more than halfway through this interval. Make sure you're still rotating. You're not losing control. That elbow's staying high. And good. Rest. Pop your goggles off for a second. Whew. I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but I now realize why you wear swim caps in the water. This stuff traps heat like none other. Whew. All right, we're gonna do a full minute rest. And then we are going to grab, while you're resting, I'm gonna explain this. Grabbing your TheraBall. You do not need a Theraball. You can stay out in this position if you need, but the Theraball works really nicely for this. So the first, we are going to do 1 minute of sculling. I'm going to use the paddles. Then we are going to go 1 minute with the bottles. The bottles are going to be doing 2 things for us. First one, out of this position with the palms down, you are going to shake the bottles, turn, shake them back. Shake, shake. For 1 minute, and then we are going to do 1 minute of catching the bottles. Now, practice this one before you do it. You want drop and catch. Out in the position that we talked about earlier. Okay, keep your bottles close to you. We are going to start with sculling for 1 minute. This is our drill set, okay? So I'm going to keep my goggles up for the drill set. Okay, ready, and 1 minute. Just like you're petting 2 big dogs, you are just gliding over the ground back and forth. Whoop. Ignore the bottle over there. Good. Another good opportunity to make sure that you are really staying high with your elbow in that catch, and you are not dropping it down. Just because we're doing drills doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be focused on that position we just talked about earlier. Good. We got 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Drop the paddles. Got your water bottles. Shake. And back. Shake, palms down. Back, palms up. Shake, palms down. Back, palms up. Back and forth there. Close to halfway, folks. If your neck is getting tired, change the position. You can turn side to side. Good. And back. Got less than 10 seconds. One more time there and back. Keep the elbows high. My elbows are starting to drop there. Hope you caught me on that. All right. Bottles out here. 1 minute. Drop, catch. Now your back should be starting to burn a little bit here. Along with your swim cap, probably causing a little bit of heat. And starting to sweat just a bit. As you get more comfortable with this, start to go a little bit faster. We only got 30 seconds left. And then we're gonna rest 30 seconds and we're gonna do all 3 of these all over again. Fifteen seconds left. Two, 1. Over to the side. 30 seconds rest. Woo. All right. Swim cap's coming off. Just for safety, though, keep the goggles on. We're gonna go back to the sculling. We got about 10 seconds left. We're going one more time through this set, and then our drills are done, and we are ready for our main set. All right, back out of that position. Get your paddles ready, and go. Again, if you feel like you don't have enough resistance on the bands, I would suggest scooting back a bit. But be careful with that because this is still supposed to be the drills period. We should not be getting super tired during this. You should still feel like you got something in the tank. Less than 10 seconds left. My elbows are starting to drop. Keep those elbows up. 3, 2, 1. Grab the water bottles. Palms down. As you get more and more comfortable with this, you have to put a little bit more force through. Please do not unscrew the bottle cap while you're doing this. You may need to swallow later. Good. $30 left, folks. Good job. You can tell as I get tired, I start to talk less, which takes a lot. So I want to talk. Palms down, palms up. 3, 2, 1. All right, out in front, catches. Arms should be getting pretty tired now. Take the breaks if you need. Keep those elbows high. Halfway, 30 seconds. A little bit faster if you can. About 10 seconds left. That should be burning right now. 3, 2, 1. Good, everybody up. Break time, okay. We're gonna take 1 minute rest, and then we are gonna get into our main set. Now, main set, you can use the TheraBall again if you want and lay on it, but I would suggest getting back into that position that we started with. So, like we were talking about before, Scott's got his bands up high. He can go up tall there. We do not, so we got our bands a little bit what would be like the top of your door frame right here, okay? So, the main set goes as follows. We are going to do 30 seconds on your 2 feet. So here, alternating pulls, 30 seconds. Then you are going to go to 1 foot, and then we are going to go to alternating legs. Alternating legs means, if I'm here, I'm pulling with the opposite arm and opposite leg. So if my left arm's pulling down, my right leg is kicking out. 30 seconds, each one of those 3. Now here's the caveat. We are taking one of your TheraBands and we're gonna tie it right around your legs. So what that means is that your legs are gonna be working hard too now. They're gonna be pushing against some resistance. I would suggest keeping it low around your ankles. You can put it up by your knees if you want, but I would suggest keeping it up a little bit. All right, 30 seconds left in the rest, and then we're gonna get going. We are gonna do 4 of these sets, okay? There's 30 seconds rest after each one, and the goal is that you descend your effort. So everybody in the pool knows that means descending means you should get faster and faster and faster as you go, okay? So, I'm gonna give us a couple more seconds here. Starting on 2 feet, and then I will yell at you as we go there, okay? 2, 1, go. Now remember, you are descending your effort. So that means that you should not be going all out for this first one. You should be going at a nice steady click. Good. 30 seconds before we switch to standing on one leg. Once again, choose your favorite leg because we are gonna have to switch at 15 seconds. Good. And one leg. For only 15 seconds. And one. Switch to your other leg. Now remember, we are rotating still. I know your arms are tired, but we still got to make sure you are rotating there. You only have 10 seconds left on this one, and then we are going to go to alternating. 2, 1. Ready? And pull and switch. Pull and switch. So if I'm pulling with my left arm, that right leg should be kicking back for these 30 seconds. Then we're gonna rest 30 seconds. Arms should definitely start to be feeling it. Legs, not so much right now. By that last set, you should be. 2. Good. Back and forth. And 1. Good. 30 seconds rest. That was starting to get fun. Whew. All right. Now, if that was a 4 or 5 out of 10 for you, this next one should be 6 or 7. Third will be 7 or 8. And that last one's just whatever your arms have got left. All right, we still got 15 seconds. The one thing I want you to make sure too, when you're sitting on one leg, make sure you are kicked out and back so you feel that glute contracting, okay? You should feel like those glutes are what's driving that leg kick. 2, 1. Both legs, 30 seconds. I'm at about a 6 or 7 out of 10 effort here. You should just be pulling faster, but that does not mean that you lose your form. Making sure you are still rotating and that elbow is high. Good. We got 10 seconds left. Good. And one leg. Really kick back. Still make sure you are rotating. 15 seconds. Good. And switch. Only 15 seconds here, and now we're alternating. Back and forth. Should be picking up the pace here. Keep the elbow high. I started to lose the elbow. You can see there when you get tired. 30 seconds. Two, and 1. We're halfway through the set. Keep the band around your legs. We got 30 seconds. That was 6 or 7 out of 10. Let's make this 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't know about you guys, but I will probably be keeping it closer to that 7 number. All right. 10 seconds left on the wall. 5, 4, we're going on top, 2, 1. Both arms, 30 seconds. Should definitely be stronger pulls now, stronger and faster pulls. 30 seconds, and then remind you, we're going back to one leg. Make sure you are rotating through your core. Good. 5 seconds left. 2, and good. On your favorite leg. Still rotating. Can't get that other leg back. 15 seconds before we switch. Good. And switch. Good. Onto your other leg there. Make sure you're still keeping the elbows high. We're going to be alternating right after this. Good, 2, 1, and switch. Good. Remember, you should be at your 7 or 8 out of 10 effort here. Should not be feeling easy. We're going for 30 seconds. 10 seconds. Good. Okay. We got 30 seconds rest, and then we got our last of the main set. This should be your all-out effort. Shouldn't feel easy. Should be fast, but do not lose your form. The form is really the most important part of this. That means making sure that that elbow's still high. You're still bringing that hand down. And when you come down, you should be pretty close to perpendicular to the ground. And we're starting 2, 1, both good. 30 seconds. Make sure you're rotating. Good. About halfway, folks. Get the hand out in front of you. Make sure you are not just pulling your arm back, but you are pulling like you're pulling water. 2, 1, pick your favorite leg. Two, 1, switch to your other.
When you were leaving, I need you even more than I did before.
15 seconds on this leg, and then we're going to the alternating for the last 30 seconds.
You drive me crazy.
2, 1, and alternate. You should have the rhythm down now. Nice and quick. Keep the elbow high, 30 seconds. We're on your 1 minute rest. We're going to get water after this, and then we're going to finish up with some strength work. Good, halfway.
You'll be the death of me still, your medicine. Yeah, I need it, you.
3, 2, and 1. Good. Good, take the band off. And let's go ahead. We're heading over here to your weights and your other band. You can use the same band to go around your legs if that's good for you. Okay. The yoga mat's helpful. You don't have to have the yoga mat. We'll be doing push-ups, so make something out of it and also doing a cool down or strength. We have about 30 seconds left. And I'll rest, so I'm going to show you the strength work here. The first one is pretty easy. You're going to take a weight. You're going to be holding it by one side. And you're going to lift up and over. Transfer hands. Slowly come down the other side. Keeping those shoulder blades pinched. Right back here so you can see my shoulder blades are pinched. All the way through. Back and forth. Okay. Good. So, we pop up your elbows on around the whole thing. You see you driving forward. So, we're going straight from that one to Spider-Man push-ups, which I'm sure you all have seen before. If you haven't, they're pretty easy. Now, I'm going to make an adjustment to this for you. Start in low crouch position, and all you're going to do is shift back and forth. 10 times. Back and forth. Then you're going to go straight into one arm side plank. You're going to reach through. Back up. Reach through. 10 times. 10 times on the other side too. Okay. Now, let's run the weights. I would say between 5 and 10 pounds. I'm using 5 pound. I'll be our left hand. We're doing 10. Then we're going to Spider-Man push-ups and the side planks. Okay? The goal is to make it through 3 set plays. I think we got 3 sets in us. No rest. So we're gonna try to get through this as quick as we can with good form, okay? Palms out, and go. 1. Back and forth counts as 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Good. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Good. Do your spider hands. Back and forth 10 times. Ready? Go. 1. 2. 3. An adjustment to this too. 4. 5 can be from your knees, so you can be going back and forth. 6. From your knees as well, because up on your feet is way too hard. Just make sure when you're shifting back and forth, that most of your weight is up on your hands. Good. I see most of you probably on 9 there. And 10, good. Now to these guys. 10 times reaching through. I'm gonna show an adjustment while you guys go. So you can go from your knees as well. You can also, if you have a little bit of pain in your wrist, you can go from here or here. Same thing. 9, 10, and switch. I'll go back up on my hands. Now we're going through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right. Back to this guy. Set number 2 or 3. 2. Good. 3. 4. Do not miss that transfer. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one before we get to the push-ups. And 10. Good. Way down. I'm going to do something on my feet, but remember you can go from your knees, or you can move to your feet and just go side to side if that's easiest for you. 4. Good. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And we're switching to our foot and needles, okay? Reach through. Back up. Let the shoulder grip down when you come down. Don't just reach like that. You want to let yourself actually rotate. 6. 7. 8. 9. Good. And we're switching. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Last set, folks. Shake out the arms a bit. Grab your weight if you have to drop down a bit, or if you're like me, you started with 5, you should be just fine now. 1. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be getting tired now. 6, 7, 8. I don't know if you'll drop this on your head by now. So I'm thinking the kettlebell's not too bad of a transfer though. 9. Maybe the gallon though. Maybe drop it on your head by now. And 10. Good. Do your spider hands. Starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, coming up, and the last one, 10, good. To your side planks, arms up. If you need to drop down from your arm now, that's just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going straight to the next side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good job, everybody. 10. All right. So, arms should be pretty tired after that. It's time for a cool down. At this point, you can probably drink a water bottle just fine. I don't think you need them. So, take a drink. As you can see, that was plenty hard for me. I actually just probably didn't sweat through the shirt, honestly. I could feel it coming off my sweat there. So, anybody using a swim cap, I would suggest using that for like the warm up. Take it off after that. They're not pretty warm. Swim goggles just fine. Swim cap maybe a little bit too much. And honestly, like jammers or like your swimsuit would probably be better than wearing pants and a shirt. So, next, just a minute of stretching. So, there's 3 different positions I'm going to show you, and then I'll leave you to stretch. So, the first, stretch the core out. These are a couple different yoga positions. So I'm sure any of you have done yoga videos, or if you teach yoga and you're watching this, I'm sure you're going to be like, wow, that's not super flexible. You should probably work on that. You would be right, I should. Now you're going to go child's pose. From here, especially for this lat area, I like to get a side-to-side stretch. So slink your arm over one side, let yourself rotate and breathe. And then do your other side too. You should feel that stretch straight through your lats. Try to sit your butt back on your heels too. Let your chest fall down to the floor. Deep breaths out. Good. Back up. Good stretch. And I'll leave you to repeat that as much as you need. So, going forward, it's a good idea to get these strength workouts in twice a week, since we can't be getting the pools here, to maintain a lot of that strength, that core stability. And in the future, as we do each one of these each week, we're going to progress everything slowly. So the strength will build, the tolerance to the bands will build, and just like when you're in the pool and doing your swim set, your speed will improve, your strength will improve with these, and hopefully that'll help you transfer back to the pools once they all fit. So, hope this was helpful for everybody. And stay healthy out there, stay safe.